I couldn't hear the dark presence. It was gone. The tunnel was open now. I could get through. Shit. The dark presence. I had seen it before. I remembered now. It was always out there, hunting me. Somehow the victim's heart was the key. Something had shifted. I felt an overwhelming closeness to home. An FBI agent? Who are you?
What is this? Who are you?
She can hear me.
I'm Saga Anderson, FBI. Help me get you.
This is Alan Wake. I'm trapped here. The dark place. Under Cauldron Lake.
Not Cauldron Lake. Who are you?
I'm trying to escape. I'm making progress, but I'm in danger. The dark presence. Help me. Please, help me. I could sense it. I was closer to home. Had the woman in the vision helped me somehow? Something had changed. Outside. Parliament Tower. Where I had lived with Alice. It was out there. Waiting for me.
Some say that it lives forever, this road that I lose you on every time. Some say that it lives forever, this road. Some say that it lives forever, this road that I lose you on every time. Some say that it lives forever, this road. I can see you there, but you don't see me anywhere. I'm right in front of you, I'm right here on this winding road. What are you looking at? Is it your face on a pane of glass? 'Cause somehow this window becomes a trap on this winding road. Will it ever let me go? Forever I am fading to black. Forever I am circling back, just to fall into this trap. This winding road.
story determined where I could go, and where I couldn't.
Stepping to the murder site, I felt it hanging in the air. Stepping to the murder site, I felt it hanging in the air. A meaning, the violent emotion of the act, like a cloud of wrath. The dead eyes of the victim staring at something you couldn't see, and yet making you aware of it. Something that soaked into this place on a molecular level, overlapping with your meaningless existence. Regression to something you had managed to forget. Marking you, taking you for a ride, making you crazier.
The station had changed. I was closer now.
Murder site, I'd felt it hanging in the air. A meaning, the violent emotion of the act, like a cloud of wrath. The dead eyes of the victim staring at something you couldn't see, and yet making you aware of it. Something that soaked into this place on a molecular level, overlapping with your meaningless existence. Regression to something you had managed to forget. Marking you, taking you for a ride, making you crazier.
The station had changed. I was closer now.
Writer, I write. Writing is the key. Art is the key to find my way out of the dark place. Don't you fucking forget this. I'm in the dark place. I'm outside time and space. Outside reality. But this is real. A nightmare dimension and... Dark energy can make art come true. Make dreams and nightmares come true. Yes, I can use this. The memory is fading like a dream. The dark place wants to...
Parliament Tower. Our home in New York. Was I really this close to being home? Going up to our apartment? Would I be home? Or was this just an echo of the real thing? Even then, the murder site had brought me one step closer to escape. The payphone at the edge of the plaza was ringing again.
Hey, Alan. Thank God he picked up. I thought I lost you again.
Who are you? Why are you helping me?
Did you go deeper? To the overlap?
Are you talking about the murder site? Yeah, I did.
That's fantastic, Alan. We're closer to getting out. We're making progress.
Well, we would be if you would answer my damn questions.
Last time we spoke, you were pretty worried about Alice. Did you ever check Parliament Tower? To make sure she really got out of the dark place?
Well, of course she got out. That's why I'm here. That's the whole goddamn point.
Be very careful, Alan. The dark presence is stealing from you. It can already manifest as your double. Scratch will come...
Wait, hello?
Shit. Maybe he was a victim. The cult, using his words. Or maybe he was the monster behind it all. Either way, Alice Wake, his ex, she knew things. It was there in her art for all to see. A cry for help. The darkness she'd witnessed. And that put her in danger.
Was Alice here? In the story? Alice's photo equipment. Set to go off when the door opens.
Get out! Leave me alone!
Alice! Alice! Alice. This is a photo of Scratch. How did Alice get this? Is he stalking her? The plot element I found would drive the story forward. This is the door to my study, where I wrote my books. This symbol wasn't here before. Part 1. What was Alice working on?
When I was younger, photography was everything to me. I moved to New York thinking I'd make it as an artist. And then I met Alan. We had a good thing. We were both dedicated by our creative ambitions. The only difference was that Alan's work made money. He brought me work when he could. I took his promo shots, created covers for his books. I'm sure he forced his publisher into it. I was taking photos, just not my photos. And that gnawed at me. Things got complicated sometimes, but that's life, right? We loved each other. Then Alan hit a block. I brought out a meaner side of him. One I didn't like. I set up a trip to see a doctor in Washington. I didn't tell him until we got there. We argued. Things went wrong. And he was just gone. Drowned, allegedly. Easy for people to think it was my fault. Hell, I do, too, sometimes. About 6 years ago, I started hearing noises in the night. Typewriter keys clacking. Voices. Alan was back. Haunting me. Then it got violent. It was Alan. And yet, it was a monster. He always did have anger in him. I set up cameras around the apartment with motion sensors and flashes. Now, when the monster comes, I turn it into art. My nightmares caught on film. And this is the focus of my new exhibition. To show people the world is so much darker than they ever knew. I'm calling this exhibit The Dark Place.
Alice. Scratch was terrorizing her. Why? I sat in the writer's room and wrote a story. Initiation. To project myself through the dark place. To look for a way out. The story had brought me here, brought me nowhere. Looped me back. I was writing the story. And in the story, I now stepped into the writer's room. But there was no one here writing.
Some say that it lives forever, this road that I lose you on every time. Some say that it lives forever, this road. Some say that it lives forever, this road that I lose you on every time. Some say that it lives forever, this road. I can see you there.
Okay, let's recap what you've told us so far, Ellen. For the past 13 years, you've been trapped in a nightmare dimension called the Dark Place.
Yeah.
It's like New York, but it's not New York. And can be reached from the bottom of Cauldron Lake, but it's not really under the lake. And after all this time, you've managed to get out.
Yeah.
But so has your evil doppelganger. Mr. Scratch? Or is it the Dark Presence?
Both. It's interchangeable. He's Scratch when he looks like me, but he can change into this other form.
And Scratch, the Dark Presence, wants to rewrite the world in his own image.
Which would be in your image, as he looks just like you.
And turn the world into a fucking nightmare.
During Deerfest, which is scheduled to take place in a couple of days. You got out of the Dark Place by writing a novel, the pages we've been finding. But your double edited it into a horror story that's now changing reality, taking over people, making them crazy. Bringing the Dark Place to Bright Falls.
Guess. Fiction coming in contact with the Dark Place can change reality. The story is coming true, soaking into everything like darkness when night falls. But last time
This will be back in 2010.
Yes, last time it didn't happen all at once. The story came true bit by bit as it unfolded. And that dark presence was still bound to the lake. I stopped it before it got the ending it wanted. Before it broke free. Based on that, there's still time.
Which brings us to your magical light switch.
The clicker. Magical doesn't quite cover it. Scratch wants it to bring about his ending. That can't happen. If I can get the clicker, I can send him back to the Dark Place, make all this shit go away. Look, I know it's bad memory is full of holes, and I'm not sure how much I can trust. It's like a half-forgotten dream.
Mr. Wake. Alan. We've seen our share of batshit crazy in the past 24 hours. What I want to know is, why am I? Why are we written into the story?
I think I saw you. Or a vision of you. In the dark place. I think you helped me reach out and escape somehow. With that in the story, Scratch would have edited it to get to you. To hurt you. We are all in danger.
It's insane. And there's so much of it. Just gave us a lot of information. But this clicker seems like a good place to start. If we find that, then we find the cult. The pages we've been finding are from a horror story called Return, written by Alan Wake. And the contents of this book are coming true. Why couldn't it have been a romance? Never heard of the tree.
Creepy bunch. The habit of wearing deer masks, performing murder rituals, victims turning into monsters possessed by darkness, possibly inspired by a horror story written by a certain author. Ring any bells?
Yes. Yes. They have the clicker.
If the cult has the clicker, does that make them Scratch's followers? How are you so certain they even have the clicker?
They could be working for Scratch. I don't remember. It's all confused.
Alan, if I'm gonna act on this information, you need to be honest with me.
Yeah, of course.
Is he confused? Or is he hiding something? Doesn't make sense. Wake said the cult has the clicker. How does he know?
The writer is the reader. The next chapter, the next chapter, the next chapter. Keep the pages safe, the dark shining of the words.
Wake is hiding pages. That's how he knows the cult has the clicker. Wake has a double. Mr. Scratch. Where is he now?
A cloud of wrath wears my face. The dark place in your place. Scratching out my body of work.
Scratch is here. In Washington. He's hunting Wake. Scratch looks just like Wake. Why?
Don't wake up the dreamer if your life is a dream. I swam to the shore, but the water is rising.
Wake and Scratch are clearly connected. Maybe Scratch got out because Wake did. Or vice versa. Okay, Mr. Wake. I know you have more pages of the manuscript on you.
The only way I can know what's coming.
You're not the one trying to solve this. This is our job.
Here. Now, this is all I have. Be careful with them. Inside the trailer, at the outskirts of Watery, Saga had seen Wake's fabled clicker for the first time, in the hands of the cult of the tree. A cultist stared at her. She drew her weapon. Standing inside the trailer, at the outskirts of Watery, Saga had seen Wake's fabled clicker for the first time, in the hands of the cult of the tree. Her mind reeled from what the horror story was now claiming about her. Her life, her past. She didn't accept it. She stepped out of the trailer. She needed air. But she wasn't alone. A cultist stared at her from behind a deer mask. She drew her weapon, shouted, ran after him.
The cult of the tree has the clicker Wake told me about. They're a part of all this. It's all on the page. The clicker, the cult. Okay, I'll head to Watery and find this trailer. Casey, you stay here and keep an eye on Mr. Wake.
Got it.
No, you need me there.
No dice, pal. This is an FBI investigation, and I don't see a badge on that flannel.
You wrote these pages in the dark place. So why are we finding them here?
I think I wrote them. I remember writing an endless amount of pages. When this happened before, the pages were being sent from the dark place to help me. Maybe the same thing is happening here.
That's all for now, Mr. Wake. Thank you for your cooperation.
I think I wrote them. I remember writing an endless amount of pages. When this happened before... I'm the only one who understands the forces behind this. I can help you.
No, that's not how this works. You're a civilian, and we don't do ride-alongs. And if Scratch is after you, then so is the cult. We don't know who we can trust here.
Damn it, you are making a mistake.
Mm-hmm. I'll be sure to add that to the list.
Hi, welcome.
Okay, past favorite Deerfest floats. Go.
The yarn puppet monstrosity.
The stuffed moose and squirrels one.
No, thank you. Those beady dead marble eyes still give me nightmares.
Welcome to amusement park. All of our attractions are family friendly and available to children of all ages.
It won't open.
Your coffee. So, take a sip of our own Deer Diner organic coffee and let the adventure begin.
Hello? Hello?
The same since his latest show had closed. This wasn't the first time one of his productions had shuttered early. Scathing social one-act play wasn't exactly filling seats. When Tammy told him she was taking a research trip to Bright Falls, he decided to tag along. Ed told her he wanted to find inspiration. Really, he just wanted a break from the city. But it was true that he certainly needed to find something. A voice, a direction, an idea, Something authentic to himself. Ed knew he couldn't keep using Tammy's money to fund his playwriting. After the argument with Tammy, Ed stormed out of the diner and drove their rental car back to Cauldron Lake to prove a point. Now standing in the dark woods, the sun hidden by the trees, Ed wished he could remember what that point was. Something about masculinity. He cursed at himself and turned to go. Suddenly, he was blinded by a light in his face. Voices shouted and hands pushed him to the ground. Ed struggled, in vain. He tapped her pen on her notebook. He had ridden this same ferry into town when he arrived. This was his entry into Bright Falls. His first steps across the threshold. She wrote that down. She always found it helpful to walk in the victim's shoes, do what they did, see what they saw. It added great color to the book. Tammy felt raindrops on her face. God, again? She pulled up her hood. The rain just kept coming. She missed New York. So far, this hadn't been the simple research trip she pictured. First the incident at the lake, then the fight with Ed. It's not surprising tempers got hot. They were both on edge after what had happened. Tammy had said some things she regretted. She looked out over the harbor. A chill passed through her. She hoped Ed wouldn't do anything stupid.
It doesn't budge.
Back, and boy, do we have some breaking news that... Welcome back, and boy, do we have some breaking news that's sure to knock your socks off. Davis Family Beef Jerky will now be available at the Sunday market in 3 delicious flavors. That's right, our favorite sponsor, Davis Family Beef Jerky, can now be enjoyed in smoked hickory and hickory teriyaki. How are you? Dear, you know when I'm feeling stiff, I find a light snack helps. So, did you try that beef jerky?
No, lunch is at 11, and I wanted to save my appetite because today was the fish soup with crackers. You're allowed up to 4 crackers, but I only take 1. They ran out of cranberry juice at breakfast, which is at 7. I didn't take the oatmeal today because it makes me gassy before cribbage, and I can't focus.
Yako, we're going to Akugai's house to drink some brewskis. Are you coming? No, Ilmo. I'm very busy wearing a turtleneck and drinking wine. Oh dear, I know what Yako needs. Beer to the rescue! Bring out your inner Wolverine with Beer. Wow, this is the best party I've heard. Thanks, Beer. Beer is a traditional Finnish lager, and we drink it the Finnish way.
At the bar while actively avoiding small talk with strangers. Getting blackout drunk on a boat during midsummer and trying not to drown. In the sauna, using your beer can to hide your pippeli from wandering eyes. Partaking in the Finnish tradition of kalsarikännit, drinking at home alone in your underwear with no intentions of going out.
It's not sad if it's intentional. Beer, your Finnish drinking adventure starts here.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. I recommend a slice of pie with some coffee. You can't go wrong with that.
So, I'm thinking of pre-gaming at my place before Deerfest. Drinks, snacks, some charades maybe. Interested?
In everything but the charades.
What's wrong with charades?
Hey, how you doing?
It's fun. And deer themed.
Hello, how are you?
Merceda won't roll over on the issues.
Hello, how's it going?
How many times do I have to tell you? She's gone missing.
Are you sure she's not just avoiding your calls?
Why would she do that? I'm a lovely person.
Make sure to write down that he's never done this before. He always comes home right after work, or at least calls.
I can't get through this.
Eye in the sky. I don't like it. It's staring at me.
A vote for Mayor Setter is a vote for everyone. For Watery!
Mayor Seta will stand up for justice. Hello. Do you have a second?
Ah, long time and no see. Tor and Odin are not here. They are old tricksters always sneaking off.
Oh, I wanted to ask you about something else. Can you point me to any trailers around here?
Sure. Watery Lighthouse Trailer Park. Ilmo Koskela owns it. Owns many things in town.
And where is Ilmo?
I saw Ilmo and his brother at the bridge. Well, what used to be the bridge.
Do you live around here?
I live in Bright Falls. You've seen me around. I am Mr. Blum. You call me Vladimir. I work at a nursing home. I take care of your old people. We are on day trip, music, sauna, the good times. I bring them here in the bus.
The elderly are very important. And it's a very nice bus. Thanks.
Hi.
Oh, you rascal. What have you been up to this time around? There's only so many times I can keep fixing the same hole.
Watery's definitely quaint. I bet they have good fish here.
Hello.
Can't open this with my bare hands.
Hey, what did you used to say your dream job was as a kid? I bet it wasn't dock worker.
I don't know about all that, but Idle hands are the devil's playground, so...
Well, us fishing types appreciate you all, at least.
Mind giving me a hand in helping out?
I'm supervising the work, and it's super.
The flooding is even worse here. More like underwatery. I'll have to tell Casey that one later. Okay then. Catchy tune.
Sen tunnet, et voi unohtaa, vaikka kasvot piiloutuu veriverhon taa. On yötön yö, se sielun syö. On yötön yö, se sinut syö. Kuin painajainen hän luoksesi saapuu, hänet verhot tuon varjojen kaapuun. Monta tarinaa hänestä kerrotaan, häntä pakoon et pääse sä milloinkaan. Hän peilistä sua tuijottaa, murhan polte se kruunoi mua. Tuon katseen tunnet, et voi unohtaa, vaikka kasvot piiloutuu veriverhon taa. On yötön yö, se järjen syö. On yötön yö, se niin.
Such a shame. Do you know where? It's in the middle of the show. I wonder if I'm the first FBI agent to ever get shushed.
Tästä yöstä ei selviä kukaan. Synkäs huoneessaan kirjoittain. Onki houreistaan sinut säkeeseen. Hän peilistä sua tuijottaa. Sen tunnet, et voi.
Mom's family was from Sweden. I've always imagined it kind of like this. Saunas, lakes. Seems nice. Enjoying the sauna?
You bet. The steam is amazing on my creaky old joints. I'm just waiting for Ati to wrap up his show so we can crack open some beers.
The sauna's good for dementia.
Yeah, and so is beer.
Ever heard of the cult of the tree?
The half-deer, half-man monsters? Oh, sure I've heard of them. They're the reason I can't risk taking walks in the forest anymore. If one of them shows up, how am I supposed to get away? I can't run with a bad hip. I'd be killed for sure. I could maybe use my crutches to defend myself. Do you think that'd work? You're the professional.
Probably smart just to stay in the sauna for now.
They say if a sauna doesn't fix what ails ya, you're a goner.
They also say silence is golden.
Have you heard old Pat's radio show lately? Yeah, I fear he's losing his grip on reality.
I don't care to listen to pointless jibber-jabber. Not on the radio, not in the sauna.
Whew. Hot.
Oh, sure is nice out here by the water.
Nice and quiet.
Hey, Saga! Over here!
Hey, Ilmo. How did your walk in the woods with Steven go?
Another satisfied customer. I just hope he remembers to write a good review of the... I can walk Watery, Saga. Everyone in town makes you. See you again, Saga.
They act like they've known me for years. This keeps happening.